Marriage had always been sacred to me. A bond built on trust, loyalty, and the kind of love that could withstand anything. At least, that's what I believed. That's what I had convinced myself Amelia, my wife, believed too. 10 years together, nearly 7 of them married, and I thought we had it all. A beautiful home, successful careers, and a love story people envied. Amelia was stunning. Long, chestnut-brown hair that cascaded down her back, eyes that sparkled with mischief, and a laugh that once made my worst days feel insignificant. But lately something had changed. The late nights became frequent, and the excuses came too easily. Her once playful demeanor had turned secretive, her affections distant. I had chalked it up to stress. Maybe work had been exhausting her, or she was just going through something she didn't want to talk about. I wanted to believe that was all it was, but deep down, a sick feeling curled in my stomach. A whisper of doubt I had ignored for too long. Then came tonight. She stood in front of our full-length mirror, adjusting a dress that I had never seen before. It was red, deep, provocative, hugging every inch of her body in a way that sent a rush of unease through me. I sat on the bed, watching her. "Where are you headed?" She barely glanced at me, swiping gloss across her lips. "Out with Lisa and the girls." That was the usual answer. Always Lisa. Always the girls. Except, I had spoken to Lisa just 2 days ago at a neighborhood barbecue. She had casually mentioned how busy she'd been. That she hadn't seen Amelia in weeks. The first real crack in the illusion I had forced myself to believe. "Don't wait up," she added, slipping on heels that made her legs look impossibly long. Something inside me snapped. "You're lying." For the first time in months, she hesitated. It was brief, barely a second, but I saw it. The slight falter in her confident movements. She turned, feigning annoyance. "Excuse me." I stood up, heart pounding. "Lisa told me she hasn't seen you in weeks. So where are you really going, Amelia?" Her expression hardened. "I don't have to explain myself to you, Luke." My chest tightened. The woman I had built a life with, the one who once kissed me like I was her oxygen, looked at me like I was nothing. "I see," I muttered, voice quiet but thick with emotion. She sighed, rolling her eyes. "God, don't start. I just need space. A night out. Can you just—" Her phone buzzed on the dresser. A message popped up on the screen. "Can't wait to see you, babe. You always look so damn good in red. Ronan." My blood turned to ice. Everything blurred around me. The sound of my own heartbeat thundered in my ears as I stared at the screen, the name branding itself into my mind. Amelia froze. The color drained from her face as she realized what had just happened. "Who's Ronan?" My voice was calm, too calm for the storm brewing inside me. She grabbed the phone, locking the screen. "He's just a friend." A bitter laugh escaped me. "A friend who talks about how good you look in red?" She swallowed hard, reaching for my hand. "Luke, listen." I yanked away. "Don't." Tension crackled between us like an electrical storm. She had no excuse. No lie prepared. She had been caught. But the worst part? She didn't look sorry. There was no panic, no guilt-ridden apology. Just silent defiance, as if daring me to push further. I did. "Are you sleeping with him?" Her lips parted, but no words came out. And that silence? That was my answer. A hollow ache settled in my chest. The kind of pain that comes when you realize the person you love has been gone for a long time. You just didn't want to see it. I took a slow, deep breath. "Where is he?" She blinked. "What? Where?" "He." "Luke, don't do this." Too late. I grabbed my keys. My entire body was shaking, but my mind had never been clearer. She called out as I headed for the door. "Luke, please, let's talk about this." I turned back, meeting her gaze one last time. "You already made your choice, Amelia. Now it's my turn." Then I walked out. And I wasn't coming back until I put that bastard in his place. I drove with white-knuckled intensity, fingers gripping the steering wheel so tightly that my skin blanched. The street lights flashed past in a blur, my mind consumed by betrayal and burning rage. Amelia had cheated on me. She had given herself to another man, a man who thought he was superior to me. Ronan. His name alone ignited something dark inside me. I wasn't the kind of man to be easily rattled, but this was war. I reached for my phone, scrolling through Amelia's messages again. My stomach churned as I read their sickening exchanges. I love how you submit to me, babe. Women like you deserve a real alpha. Your husband is weak. You need a man who knows how to handle a queen. Can't wait to feel you again tonight. Same hotel, room 705. My jaw clenched so hard I thought my teeth might crack. This wasn't just about cheating anymore. This was disrespect. Ronan had taken my wife, called me weak, and strutted around like he was some goddamn king. I was about to prove him wrong. The hotel. The neon sign of the luxurious downtown hotel flickered as I pulled into the parking lot. The place was high-end, discreet, the kind of location people used to indulge in secrets they didn't want the world to know about. I stepped into the lobby, my pulse hammering in my throat. The receptionist barely glanced at me, too preoccupied with her screen to notice the storm brewing in my expression. I walked past her, straight to the elevators. I pressed the button for the 7th floor, my reflection staring back at me in the mirrored doors. My face was tight with anger, eyes dark with determination. I wasn't here to talk. Ding. The elevator doors slid open, revealing a plush hallway. The soft carpet muffled my footsteps as I moved forward, zeroing in on my target. Room 705. I stood in front of the door, heart pounding. My ears strained for any sounds inside. A faint laugh. A deep, confident voice. Ronan. I knocked. Silence. Then, footstep. The door opened. And there he was. Face to face with the alpha. Ronan stood in the doorway, shirtless, a towel wrapped loosely around his waist. He was tall, broad-shouldered, with a cocky smirk plastered across his face. His body was sculpted, muscles carved like he spent hours perfecting his reflection in the mirror. His smirk widened as he leaned lazily against the doorframe. Well, well, he mused, eyes scanning me with amusement. Didn't think you'd show up so soon, husband. His voice dripped with arrogance. He knew who I was. He wasn't scared. He should have been. Where is she? I asked, my voice sharp as a blade. His lips twitched in amusement. Showering. Needed to clean up after, well, you know. A red haze clouded my vision. My fists curled so tightly my nails dug into my palms. Ronan chuckled. Relax, man. No need to get all worked up. She's just getting what she needs. His tone was mocking, his posture deliberately relaxed, like he didn't have a care in the world. Like he thought he had already won. You think you're the alpha? I asked, my voice dangerously calm. He arched a brow, grinning. Oh, I don't think, man. I know. That was it. That was the moment he sealed his fate. I stepped forward, my movements controlled, measured. Let's see how strong you are without your mouth. For the first time, his amusement faltered. Just a flicker. But I saw it. I lunged. My fist connected with his jaw in a brutal, bone-crunching hit. The impact sent him stumbling backward, slamming against the dresser with a loud thud. His smirk was gone. Ronan wiped blood from his lip, his expression darkening. Big mistake. He charged at me. I was ready. He swung wildly, his strength undeniable, but strength without precision meant nothing. I dodged, stepping to the side, and drove my elbow into his ribs. He grunted, staggering. I didn't give him time to recover. My knuckles met his gut, knocking the air from his lungs. His towel slipped, barely hanging on, his alpha presence unraveling with every strike I landed. You call yourself an alpha? I growled, shoving him back. You're nothing but a coward. He tried to throw a punch, but I caught his wrist and twisted it, making him grunt in pain. His confidence was gone. Behind us, the bathroom door creaked open. Amelia stepped out, wrapped in a towel, her damp hair clinging to her shoulders. Her eyes widened in horror at the sight before her, her so-called alpha cowering beneath me. "Luke?" she gasped, voice laced with disbelief. Ronan wheezed, struggling to stand. "Your husband's got a mean right hook," he muttered. I didn't look at her. My eyes were locked on him. This wasn't over. But the fear in his eyes? That was a start. Ronan slumped against the dresser, one hand clutching his side, the other wiping the blood trickling from his lip. His cocky grin was nowhere to be found. I had stripped him of the illusion he had wrapped himself in, this fantasy that he was some unstoppable force, that he was untouchable. Amelia stood frozen in the doorway, her wet hair plastered against her shoulders, the towel clutched tightly around her chest. Panic flickered across her face. She wasn't just scared, she was ashamed. "Good. Luke," she whispered, voice shaking. "What are you doing here?" I turned my gaze to her, my heart pounding like a war drum. "Really, Amelia? That's your question?" Her lips parted, but no words came out. What could she say? That she was sorry? That it wasn't what it looked like? It was exactly what it looked like. Ronan groaned, finally forcing himself upright. He exhaled sharply, rolling his shoulders like he thought he could still intimidate me. "Pathetic. You had your fun, man," he muttered, his voice laced with irritation. "Now, get the hell out of my room." I laughed. Actually laughed. "You think you get to tell me what to do?" I stepped closer, my presence looming over him. "You're nothing but a fraud, Ronan. A little boy playing pretend, thinking he can take what doesn't belong to him." His jaw clenched. "Amelia isn't a possession. She came to me because she needed a real man." I smirked, shaking my head. "A real man doesn't have to sneak around in hotel rooms. A real man doesn't talk about being an alpha, because he's secure enough not to need the title." Ronan's fists twitched at his sides, but he didn't move. He knew better now. I turned back to Amelia. She flinched under my gaze. "I want you to say it," I said, my voice steel. "Tell me the truth, Amelia. How long?" Tears welled in her eyes. She swallowed hard. 6 months. 6 months. It hit me like a wrecking ball. All the moments I had looked at her, desperate to believe things would get better. The late nights, the coldness, the distance, it was never just my imagination. I nodded slowly, a bitter smile tugging at my lips. 6 months, and you never once thought to tell me the truth? She let out a shaky breath. I didn't know how to. I let her words hang in the air before responding. You knew exactly how. You just didn't have the guts. Her shoulders slumped, guilt carving deep lines into her expression. I never meant to hurt you, Luke. I just... Stop, I cut her off. You meant to do everything you did. You just didn't mean to get caught. Ronan scoffed. Man, stop acting like a victim. If you were handling business at home, she wouldn't have come to me. I moved so fast that he barely had time to react. My fist slammed into his gut, knocking the air from his lungs. He crumpled, gasping. Shut your damn mouth, I said, voice deadly calm. Amelia yelped. Luke, stop. I ignored her. My attention was on the pathetic excuse of a man struggling to breathe. You think you're better than me, Ronan? I crouched down to his level, watching the pain flicker across his face. You think seducing another man's wife makes you powerful? He wheezed, glaring up at me. She wanted this. I grabbed him by the throat, slamming him against the dresser again. His eyes widened in fear. She wanted the thrill, I murmured. The fantasy. But you? You needed this. You needed to feel like a big man because, deep down, you know you're nothing but a coward. Ronan swallowed, unable to speak. His pulse throbbed under my grip. I released him, letting him collapse to the floor. He coughed violently, hands clutching his throat. Amelia rushed forward, kneeling beside him. Ronan, are you okay? My stomach twisted at the sight. She chose him. Even now. I exhaled sharply, stepping back. You know what? You deserve each other. She looked up at me, tears streaming down her face. Luke, please. I held up a hand. Save it. Ronan groaned from the floor. Yeah, man. Walk away. Tail between your legs. Just proves I was right about you. I turned my head slowly, my eyes burning into him. Right about me? He smirked, his arrogance still flickering despite the beating. You're just the guy she settled for. But me? I'm the one she craves. For a split second, I almost lost control. My fists clenched, my body coiled like a predator ready to strike. Then, an idea struck me. I pulled out my phone and tapped the screen a few times. Amelia's eyes widened as she realized what I was doing. Luke, what are you? I turned the phone around, showing them both the live recording. The entire conversation. Every damning word. You think I'd walk in here without a plan? I smirked. This is my insurance policy. Amelia paled. Luke, please, you don't have to. I ignored her, locking eyes with Ronan. See, you might have been the guy she cheated with. But I'm the guy who's about to destroy you. Ronan's smirk finally disappeared. Good. I slipped the phone into my pocket, adjusting my jacket. You like being the alpha, Ronan? Enjoy it while you can. Because after tonight, I chuckled, you'll be nothing. Then, without another word, I walked out the door, leaving them both in the ruins of their own making. You said. I stepped out of the hotel, inhaling the crisp night air, feeling the weight of betrayal lift from my shoulders. The rage was still there, simmering beneath the surface, but something else burned brighter, clarity. Ronan thought he was untouchable. He thought seducing my wife made him better than me. He thought his arrogance, his muscles, his so-called dominance, would shield him from consequences. He was about to learn just how wrong he was. I slid into my car, gripping the wheel with steady hands. My phone sat on the passenger seat, the recording still safely stored. Every smug word, every damning confession, I had it all. This wasn't just about revenge anymore. This was about justice. The fire begins. By the time I reached home, my mind was already crafting the next step. Ronan wasn't just some random loser. He had a lot to lose. Quick search online pulled up his professional profile. Ronan Caldwell, personal trainer, online fitness coach, motivational speaker. I scoffed. A guy who built his entire brand around being a role model for men? A guy who preached about loyalty, discipline, and respect while screwing another man's wife? Oh, this was going to be beautiful. I opened my laptop and uploaded the recording. No captions, no edits, no embellishments, just his own words, his own actions, and the truth that he tried so hard to hide. I sent the file to a few key places. His gym social media, his professional website, his most active online fitness community. Within minutes, my inbox exploded. Holy sh*t, is this real? This is Ronan? The guy who preaches about being a real man? Dude, he's done. There's no coming back from this. Perfect. The ruin of a fraud. The fallout was instantaneous. By morning, the video had gone viral in local circles. His sponsors, the companies that backed his fitness brand, dropped him within hours. Clients canceled their memberships, his business took a nosedive, and his so-called alpha reputation crumbled under the weight of his own hypocrisy. Then came the real pain. Ronan's fiancée, yes, the man who had mocked me for being a weak husband, had a woman of his own waiting at home, saw the recording. She wasn't just furious. She was vengeful. I heard through a mutual contact that she cleaned out their shared bank account and kicked him to the curb. Ronan Caldwell, the self-proclaimed alpha, was now homeless, unemployed, and disgraced. Beautiful. Amelia's plea. It didn't take long for Amelia to come crawling back. 3 days after everything blew up, she showed up at my doorstep, eyes red-rimmed, makeup smudged. She looked miserable. Luke, she whispered, her voice trembling. Please, can we talk? I leaned against the doorframe, arms crossed. Talk about what? Tears slipped down her cheeks. I made a mistake. Ronan wasn't who I thought he was. He's gone, Luke. He lost everything. I smirked. I know. She flinched. You did this, didn't you? I tilted my head. You mean, did I hold him accountable for his actions? Yeah. I did. A sob escaped her lips. I never meant for this to happen. I never stopped loving you, Luke. I was just lost. I chuckled, shaking my head. Lost? No, Amelia. You weren't lost. You chose this. You chose to betray me. And now that the fantasy is over, you think you can just walk back into my life. She reached for me, desperation in her eyes. We can fix this. I took a step back. No, Amelia. I can fix this. By walking away from you. Her face crumpled. Please, Luke. I cut her off with a final, resolute glare. You lost me the moment you chose him. Then, without another word, I shut the door in her face. The final victory. I stood in my quiet house, exhaling slowly, feeling lighter than I had in months. This wasn't just about getting revenge. It was about taking back my power. Amelia and Ronan had thought they could control the situation, that I would be the one left broken. Instead, I was standing stronger than ever. And them? They were nothing but ashes.